won't be coming over for that movie night we planned. Bye. Just before I hang up, fuck you. Don't bother calling me back. Don't bother going to the apartments looking for me either. By the time you hear this, I'll be long fucking gone. And save your time trying to call me. I'm ditching this number. I bet you will freak out when you hear this, just like you usually do. You will try calling the police and report me as missing, or maybe phone my friend or my parents to check if they know where I went. Sadly, I don't have any person left that I regularly talk to. Thanks to you, of course. Just one of the many reasons why I'm doing this. Actually, since this is the last time you will ever hear my voice, I'll say it. I'll say all the fucking things I wanted to for so long but never had the guts to. First of all, fuck you, bitch! Second, I never, ever want to see you, hear you, or even think about you. What you did to me was fucking torturous. I don't know how you can reason it over and over again and come to the conclusion that it has anything to do with love. 'Cause it sure as hell doesn't. You're a fucking psychopath. You are mentally deranged and have the innate talent to destroy everything that you touch. You destroy my friendships. The last handful of people whose company I enjoyed were driven off by your incessant gaslighting and overbearing manipulations. You did it! You fucking did it! And somehow managed to burn the bridges with people I knew since kindergarten. Good work, you fucking nut job. I shouldn't be surprised either that I'm not invited to any family meetups anymore. Ever since last Christmas where you pulled that stunt in front of my cousins, you'd be a real fucking treasure trove for a shrink. I don't think I've ever met someone utterly fucked in the head like you. What kind of sane person would start a fight on Christmas Eve because somebody made me the butt of a joke? We had to call the police because you were about to brawl. Or even worse, reach for the gun in our car. And don't get me started on the things you told people. All the little rumors and lies you so carefully planted all around our social circle. Well, my social circle, because I've never seen you pleasantly interact with another human being who doesn't appear to be either drugged or in complete fear of their life. Just how? I'm curious, how could you do something so wicked? You took my insecurities and magnified them. How you made me feel small, unwanted by a whole world and hammered in my anxieties until I shook and shattered. You are evil. You must be genuinely evil. Presumably, the only pleasure, the only goal in your life is to fuck me over. You want me on my knees, bloodied, bruised, afraid, begging for mercy, begging you to save me from the hell that you created. Only so you can skewer my heart with your claws and rip it out. And I'm not having that anymore. I'm tired. I am tired of your bullshit games, of our life together, and of everything that has any semblance of you. For a short time, I was angry, livid even. I wanted to catch you by surprise in the kitchen one evening and bash your head against the stovetop until your brains covered all the walls of the cupboards. You probably don't even remember this. The day I almost killed you just to get an ounce of freedom before they put me in jail. February 13th. I got home early and looked at the note you left me. Lengthwise, it was more like an excerpt from the Bible, with the same kind of batshit insane language and topics. But instead of God, you were talking how much you miss me? Even though we would see each other again when you got home from your therapist. That fucking letter of yours made me snap. All the bullshit you say, the way you say it, trying to make it seem as if it's destiny? Or karma? Or some other insane concept which justifies your abuse? It just made me want to kill you more. I couldn't think straight, so I went and cleaned the kitchen until it was squeaky clean. All while fantasizing about finally ending this nightmare. And when you finally came home and wrapped your arms around me, I was ready. I playfully hugged and carried you all the way to the kitchen, saying that I have a surprise for you. And when my back touched the stove, I felt like this could be your last moment on Earth. But alas, it was you who killed me. Like innumerable times before. You lowered my defenses and crawled your way into my heart like some worm. You cried in my arms. Something your shrink said must have greatly upset you. Apology after apology, like a penitent sinner, confessing. You unleashed a waterfall of tears. How bad you felt for all the things you couldn't control. How you wish that you could love me even more. How you wanted to be a better person. For me. And like a fool, I laughed it up. I embraced those lies with open arms, and all the rage in me was gone. I genuinely thought, like a million times before, this is it. This is the change that's going to make everything good again. But no, it was just a little act from you, like many others before. Just a little curveball for your doggy to wag its tail and allow you to get closer. Just so you may twist and turn my emotions against me. For a couple of days, might have been a week, it was peaceful. Maybe even tranquil. I would be lying if I said I was unhappy. And you knew that. So every now and then you put the abuse on standby and let me live in a temporary lie, which is ephemeral like smoke, at the full mercy of your whim. One breath was all it took to plunge us back into turmoil. And when you desired something, you made sure to take it. I remember waking up in the middle of the night to merciless slaps. All the times you hit me. Your slaps, your punches, your kicks. Sometimes I wonder if I was nothing more than a sandbag to you. A convenient meat doll just to take out your frustrations on. All of your fucked up outbursts when you would take a knife from the counter and slash at me. All of the times you tied me down and abused me until I was left a crying, bleeding pulp. And I stayed! I couldn't believe that all of those things weren't enough to open my eyes to how batshit crazy you really are. You could have killed me. You could have actually killed me in one of your fits. One wrong word would have made you stab that knife right through my heart. I guess at some point I must have really enjoyed it. Not the pain, not the humiliation, but the overwhelming sense of redemption. When you finally snapped out of your manic episode and hugged and kissed me and held me tight. After you made me cold, afraid, beaten, abused. When you reduced my body to the most miserable demeanor. You were there to also provide me the warmth to feel human again. You brainwashed me. All that abuse followed by care. All that fear and anxiety when I was around you. Never knowing when you'd snap at me and kill me. I guess I must have developed Stockholm Syndrome because it took me years to finally have the courage to leave you. The third thing I want to say is love. I don't think what we had was ever love. I don't think you're even capable of loving. No matter how much you might scream my name, etch it in your own skin with a knife, or beat up people for looking at me. No. That was an obsession. A primal need in your fucked up brain, conjured up by God knows why, to give some sort of purpose in your miserable life. And as you slowly took over my entire social circle and learned everything there is about me, I also learned a few things about you. While you were busy being a parasite and digging your head into what was mine, I saw your dirty tail wagging behind. No matter how much you tried to hide the skeletons in your closet, eventually they all came to light. You have no friends. Nothing what a normal, sane, well-adjusted person would call friend anyways. The most you have are acquaintances. And even those are either psychologists who look at you as a case study or equally deranged individuals who you conspire with. You have no family. Everybody is either dead or completely estranged. And honestly, I don't blame them. You've told me 1,000,000 times about all the abuse you suffered. The orphanage, the bullying, the failed adoptions. And I wonder, were you maybe at fault? Could you have always been this sick, twisted, malicious person who drove away the people who tried to love you? It pains me to think this, but after everything we've been through together, it seems like the most logical explanation. You also have no purpose. You wander aimlessly through life, jumping from one goal to the next. A slave to your own primal desires with no room for thought whether your actions are wrong or cause harm. Just a very long list of delusions and lies that you use to fill out your own fictional happiness. That is what your love is. A delusion. I'm not special. I'm not smart, beautiful, charming, or anything that makes me stand out. I was just someone who was convenient. Someone who wasn't smart enough to notice your red flags. Not wise enough to run when your true self started showing. Someone who could be your pincushion for your festering hate and imaginary concept of love. The saddest part, the saddest fucking thing about us, about you, is that I genuinely loved you. By that I mean love. Not as in your twisted, corrupted, strangling love. But the love that is pure and happy to just be. I fell for you. I fell for those eyes which could set my soul on fire with one look. For your touch that could freeze my spine. The way you savored every moment as if it was your last and your very essence. I was enamored by you. How you did things. How you carried yourself through life even though you've been through the gutter. How nothing was out of reach. How you worked tirelessly with the insane zeal for the things you desired. You were inspiring. I hoped that just by being in your presence, I would get a shred of your courage, a shred of your enthusiasm and passion. And I was honestly just happy being next to you. My love didn't need pain, and it didn't need manic phone calls at 2 in the morning. It didn't need complete isolation from the rest of the world and a paranoid fear whenever you interacted with others. But that's gone now. And it will never come back. One last thing before I hang up the phone. I know you talk so much about what you would do if I were to ever leave you. But I simply do not care anymore. I am tired. I am so tired that whatever you plan to do won't be noticed. You have drained me of everything. I don't think I'm capable of feeling anything anymore. And I'm tired of that as well. By the time you hear this message, I'm already 2 states away. Maybe even on a plane flying overseas. There's no point in looking for me or going after me. Not because I plan to disappear, but because I have nothing. Genuinely nothing. All my memories, all my feelings, all the happiness, sadness, fear, anxiety, anger, love. You already have them. I am just a husk. Sleepwalking someplace else where I can maybe, hopefully, become someone else. Because you took everything I was. And lastly, I just wish that an atom, a truly minuscule amount of sense, is able to pierce your thick skull and convince you to change your life. Goodbye. Forever.